The robot has powered to Earth to learn all about our animals. Let's join Zeek on his adventure. Today, we're meeting animals from land and sea, from all around the world. You could call it animal soup. A marvelous mix of amazing animals. So come on, it's all systems go as we venture into Zeek's animal world. Hi there! Are you ready to join Zeek on an animal adventure? Zeek, our first creature, is a bit on the scaly side. There are over 3,000 lizard species, but the Komodo dragon wins the prize for being the largest lizard in the world. This unique creature is found on a few islands in Indonesia. The Komodo dragon is a type of monitor lizard, an ancient species of reptile with ancestors that date back more than 100 million years. These large lizards have stubby, bowed legs, clay-coloured scaly skin for great camouflage, and a huge muscular tail. The yellow colour of the Komodo's long forked tongue reminds people of mythical dragons that spit fire. And just look at the size of his claws! Most lizards are plant eaters, but not Komodo dragons. Meat is what they seek, so that makes them carnivores. Komodo dragons use their long tongues to pick up smells in the air, even if they're more than a kilometre away. Life for a young Komodo dragon isn't so easy. As soon as the baby hatches, it scrambles out of the nest dug by its mother and scurries up the nearest tree so the adults won't eat it. That's right, adult dragons think of the hatchlings as easy meals. An adult Komodo dragon leads a life of leisure. It will emerge from its burrow in the ground to look for a sunny spot to warm up. Then it's off to find breakfast, followed by a nice long nap in the shade during the hottest part of the day. After a late afternoon meal, the dragon is ready for bed, sleeping soundly in its burrow until a new day begins. It's a solitary creature that lives and hunts alone. An adult dragon will hide along a trail and wait for an unsuspecting creature to walk by. Then, with long claws and short, sharp teeth, the dragon attacks. You're right, Zeek. I wouldn't want to meet a Komodo dragon when he's looking for lunch either. A Komodo dragon's scaly skin comes in different colours. It depends how old the lizard is and whether it's male or female. So what have we discovered about the Komodo dragon? They are the largest lizards in the world and use their long tongues to pick up smells in the air, and they're carnivores, so they eat meat. Male and female Komodo dragons come in different colours. Wow, Zeek! If you thought frogs only came in green, take a look at this amazing amphibian. Did you know that frogs come in some brilliant colours? Yellow, red, blue, and of course, gorgeous green. Oh, look! Here's another little yellow frog hiding on this branch. Frogs belong to a group called amphibians. This means they can breathe in water and on land. Frogs have strong back legs so they can leap long distances, and their back feet are webbed to help them swim through the water. The front legs or arms are shorter. They're used to prop the frog up when it sits. Frogs can be found almost everywhere, but most species are found in tropical regions. You can find frogs in water or near places that have water, like ponds or streams. Some frogs live in trees. These frogs have tiny sticky pads on their fingers and toes to help them cling to the tree trunk as they climb. Frogs come in all sizes, from this middle-sized fellow to giant bullfrogs and this little frog resting on a friendly arm. Frogs eat insects, small animals like earthworms, minnows and spiders. Most frogs have a sticky tongue. To catch an insect, the frog flips out its tongue very, very quickly. The bug gets stuck, then it pulls its tongue in. Some frogs have a vocal sac, which fills with air and swells up to make their croaks and grunts louder. What have we learnt about frogs, Zeek? We know frogs have webbed feet to help them swim, and they like jumping with their long back legs. Most frogs like to live in or near water, and some frogs even live in trees. Ready to jump into some more adventures? Come on, let's go. The next animal we're going to meet lives down here under the water. But be careful, Zeek. This marine creature has very sharp teeth. Can you tell Zeek what it is? That's right, it's a shark. And they might be beautiful to watch, but I wouldn't like to meet one face to face. Sharks live in waters all over the world, in every ocean, and even in some rivers and lakes. Just like other fish, sharks have gills. They're the slits you can see on the side of the shark's head. Sharks use their gills to filter oxygen from the water. Zeek, sharks may have up to 3,000 teeth at one time. The teeth are arranged in rows. When one tooth is damaged or lost, it's replaced by another. One of the reasons that sharks are such successful predators is that they have super senses. 2/3 of a shark's brain is dedicated to its keenest sense, smell. Most sharks have streamlined, torpedo-shaped bodies that glide easily through the water. And you can't miss that big dorsal fin that sits above the water as the shark glides near the surface. Just look at that bite! Almost all sharks are carnivores or meat eaters. They live on a diet of fish and sea mammals like dolphins and seals, and even eat turtles and seagulls. Watch out, guys! There are those big gills again, Zeek. And here's a closer look at that big dorsal fin. So, we've learnt that sharks have gills that they use to filter oxygen from the water. And if they lose a tooth, it's replaced by another. Sharks have a large dorsal fin on their backs, and they have a very good sense of smell. Well done, team. Let's stay in the water, Zeek, and meet our next animals. This strange-looking creature is called a manatee. The manatee is related to another aquatic animal, the dugong. The animals look and behave a lot alike. Reaching up to 4 meters long and weighing as much as 600 kilograms, they look more like small cars than sea creatures. Manatees and dugongs are herbivores. They only eat water plants and plants that grow at the water's edge, and they eat a lot. If you weighed 36 kilograms, you'd have to eat 4 kilograms of salad a day to keep up with these guys. Despite their large size, manatees and dugongs are graceful swimmers. They push themselves forward by moving their strong tails up and down. Although these gentle creatures may look fat and blubbery, they're actually very muscular. Yes, Zeek, he does have wrinkly skin. Well, you would too if you spent this much time in the water. So, we know that manatees and dugongs are herbivores and live on plants. They're aquatic animals that love the water and are very muscular. Manatees and dugongs push themselves forward by moving their strong tails up and down. Hi, Zeek. Have you spotted our next animal? Yes, there he is. Do you know what it is? You're right, it does look a little like a weasel, but this animal is called a mink. The mink is a semi-aquatic animal. That means it spends half its time in the water and half its time on the land. Just as you thought, Zeek, the mink is closely related to the weasel, but the mink is highly prized for its fur. Oh look, these two have caught a fish. I think there's going to be a fight over it. Mink are excellent swimmers, so they usually live near water where they catch much of their food. The mink's home is called a den, and they're very territorial animals. They don't like other mink coming into their area. Mink are semi-aquatic, spending time in the water and on land, and they are highly prized for their beautiful fur. Mink are territorial animals, and they live in dens. Good work, Zeek. Come on, there's someone else for you to meet. Zeek, this animal is a native to Africa, and his name is the banded mongoose. The banded mongoose gets its name because of the black markings or bands across its back and the base of the tail. Look closely and you'll see them. The banded mongoose has 5 toes on its front feet, all with long and curved claws that are used for scratching and digging. Looks like this mother mongoose is giving her baby a lesson in digging, Zeek. The banded mongoose has a long bushy tail and a long coarse coat. A banded mongoose mother usually gives birth to a litter of 2 or 3 young, but a litter may be as large as 6. These animals are carnivores, which means they eat meat. They like to gobble up beetles and millipedes, but are most famous for attacking snakes. The banded mongoose lives in grassland, bushland, woodland, and rocky country. And as you can see, Zeek, these little guys love to dig. I think they must be looking for some juicy bugs for their dinner. Can you see the markings on their backs? They're the bands we spoke about earlier. Banded mongoose are very social animals and they like company. They usually live in groups of 10 to 20, but may have as many as 40 in their group. So, we've learnt that the banded mongoose is a carnivore and eats meat and has a long bushy tail. They get their name from the markings or bands on their back, and they have sharp claws for digging. Mission completed. Well done. Zeek, watch your step. The next animal on our list can get a bit snappy. This is the alligator, and it's an amazing reptile. It's survived almost unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs. Alligators have large, strong jaws with 80 teeth that they use to capture and crush their prey. Often the alligator will lose teeth, but they are quickly replaced. Each tooth has another one underneath, ready to pop through. The alligator's eyes, ears, and nostrils are near the top of its head. It likes to lie in the water with only the top of its head showing. Alligators have good eyesight during the day, but don't see very well under the water. The alligator is an excellent swimmer and uses its strong tail to glide through the water and its hind feet as rudders. And this animal is an excellent swimmer too. It's the gharial, and you can see it has a very different snout to the alligator. The gharial has a very long, slender snout with a bulbous growth on the tip. This animal is an expert at catching fish. Just like the alligator, the gharial likes to cruise in the water with just its eyes and nostrils exposed. Just look at that big mouth, Zeek. The gharial's teeth are perfect for holding a slippery fish. We've learnt that alligators and gharials are reptiles, and alligators can replace their teeth. These animals have excellent eyesight on the land, and they use their tails to propel them through the water. Well, this certainly looks like an interesting animal, Zeek. It's the turtle, and he loves to swim. Turtles are reptiles, and they have a shell that is built into their skeleton. Their shell helps protect them from predators. Sea turtles and pond turtles have streamlined shells for swimming. The shell of a turtle is made up of 60 different bones, all connected together. There are 150 different species of turtle. Some are tiny and some are enormous. Some turtles have webbed claws, so they can dig in the sand as well as swim very fast. Turtles eat soft food because they have no teeth. They have beaks, which help them tear their food. And it looks like this lot are having salad for lunch. These turtles certainly seem to be enjoying their lettuce leaves, don't they, Zeek? Some turtles can live for 80 years. What an amazing animal. We know that turtles are reptiles that love the water, and they have hard shells. Some turtles have claws that are webbed. It was nice meeting the turtle, Zeek. This furry fellow has a scratch to itch, Zeek. He might look like a rat, but this cute little critter is actually a water vole. The rat is a distant relative of the water vole, but there are some big differences. Water voles are semi-aquatic, so that means they spend half their time in the water and half their time on land. They have soft, shaggy fur, usually in a chocolate brown color. Water voles are herbivores, which means they feed on the vegetation found along the riverbank. And for a very small animal, they have very big appetites, eating up to 80% of their body weight daily. Water voles like to live on the banks of rivers, in canals, streams, lakes and ponds. They like to dig burrows along the river's edge. We've discovered that water voles are semi-aquatic, spending time in the water and on land. They have soft, shaggy fur and like to dig burrows, and water voles are herbivores and eat plants. Excellent work researching the water vole team. Hi Zeek, have you checked out the horns on our next animal? The wildebeest lives here in the grasslands of South Africa alongside elephants and zebra. The wildebeest is an odd-looking animal. It has the head of an ox, the mane and the tail of a horse, and the horns of a buffalo, but it's actually a kind of grazing antelope. The wildebeest begins grazing soon after sunrise, rests briefly at midday, and continues feeding until sunset. Sometimes the wildebeest will stampede. Herds of over 1,000 animals thunder over the plains, raising dark clouds of dust visible for many miles. Wildebeest live in grasslands and they have large horns. They sometimes stampede with lots of animals running very fast, and they like to graze from sunrise to sunset. This shy creature is the vicuña, and it's related to the camel and the llama. Can you see the resemblance? The vicuña has a long, supple neck, slender legs, padded cloven feet, large round eyes, and a dense and fine tawny coat. The smallest of all camels, the vicuña lives in South America, Zeek. This baby is adorable. Just look at those lovely eyes. The vicuña's fur is exceptionally soft and silky, and in the time of the Incas was reserved for royal robes. Vicuñas live in groups called herds and feed on grasses and other vegetation. Vicuñas come down from the hills during the day to feed in the grasslands and then return to the hills to sleep. They are now rare because they were hunted for their coats, which is said to make the best wool in the world. Vicuñas are the smallest members of the camel family, and their fur is soft and silky. Vicuñas live in grasslands, and they are shy creatures. Fabulous work, but there's still one more animal to go. Oh, I wouldn't describe this fellow as soft and silky, would you, Zeek? No, this is more scratchy and scaly. Let me introduce you to the iguana. The iguana family includes some of the largest lizards found in the Americas, with their whip-like tails making up about half their body length. Different species of iguanas look and act so differently, you might not recognize them as members of the same family. While some iguanas have colors that are vivid and bright, others are rather dull. Looks like this iguana agrees, Zeek. Most iguanas are omnivores, eating fruits, flower buds and young leaves, along with the occasional juicy mealworm or waxworm. Iguanas have long, sharp claws for digging. Just look at that scaly skin. Most iguanas are tree dwellers, and this guy has got the very best position. There are many different varieties of iguana. This one comes in a beautiful shade of green. Iguanas have strong jaws with razor-sharp teeth and sharp tails, which can be used as whips to drive off predators. And if an iguana is caught, it can detach or lose its tail, and it will grow another one without permanent damage. Now that's clever. Watch out, Zeek. This looks like an iguana stampede. I wouldn't want to be caught in this traffic jam. The iguana's stout build gives them a clumsy look, but they're very fast and agile on land. So, we've learnt that iguanas are omnivores with sharp claws and whip-like tails. And of course, iguanas have lovely scales. Zeek liked meeting all the creatures in our animal soup, and I hope you did too. We'll see you next time.